G'day guys, my name is Trent, aka LaxLime, bringing you week 3 of the PGL. We are up against the Blackthorn Frogadiers, whose head coach is Iyokuu. I probably said that completely wrong, but close enough. He has a pretty scary team. He didn't actually bring the mons that I was really expecting him to bring, but I feel like I'm fairly prepared for this team as well. I've got a pretty scary looking team on my side. I've got especially defensive, assault vested, Tornadus, a defensive Mew, a assault vest, Rotom Heat, Keldeo, Diancie, and a Shaman. So I'm pretty confident with this team. It is so scary. I put so much effort to building into this because I really didn't want to. I felt like I could lose this battle. So I took a lot of effort into prepping for this team. But you know what? We'll just get straight into the battle and see how we go. So I actually just started out to lead with my Tornadus T as he goes for the Greninja. Now the reason why I led out with Tornadus T was basically because I know it can sort of take any especially attacking hit. Ice Beam, although it's super effective, does barely anything with the Assault Vest, and Calm especially defensive. So I was completely fine with that, and I just went straight for the knockoff just in case he decided to switch out. Now I'm really glad I did that because a choice scarfed Greninja is a real problem. He does end up going for the U-turn. I sort of predicted that, and I went for the U-turn myself, which is great because I can come back in later with the regenerator boost. He does decide to go out to his Klefki. Now, I'm okay with this, and it was pretty much just like an easy opportunity for me to go into my Rotom Heat. Now, Rotom Heat was pretty much designed to be able to take out Klefki and Gastrodon. Because that was the sort of things that I was a little bit worried about. But I just knew he was going to switch out, and his best bet really is Gastrodon, because Gastrodon normally just completely stops Rotom Heat. But I'm carrying Hidden Power Grass, especially for this. So Hidden Power Grass comes through. It does like a good, it's like a bit over 50-55%. So I'm happy with that situation. I can basically go for it again. He is going to switch out. I wasn't 100% sure what he was going to switch out into, but I decided to go Keldeo because Keldeo is a pretty big offensive threat and sort of it's okay to manage most of his mons with I can a decent hit back. Obviously my best sort of bet is to probably go for the Surf. I was sort of tossing up for a while what I sort of wanted to do, but I believe that I just went for the Surf at this point because it sort of hit most of his team more neutral. I didn't think he'd bring back in the Gastrodon, I just didn't have that feeling. And that does so much damage. So it probably tells me that this thing is probably defensive more than anything. He does decide to switch out there as he goes back into his Silky. I sort of predicted that he was probably going to do that since I went for Surf. And I just decided to go for the Sacred Sword because I figured that would probably kill. But he actually lives on a slim amount of HP, which is I was a bit surprised about because I didn't think he'd live that. But he does send out the Latias here. I tossed up for ages if I wanted to go straight for the Secret Sword again or go for the Icy Wind at this point, but I didn't go for the Icy Wind. I went for the Secret Sword. I wish I went for the Icy Wind because that would have helped a lot, but it actually didn't really matter because I switched into Mew at this point as he went for the Thunder Wave, which worked out perfectly for me because of the Synchronize. So I'm not sure what set this Latias was, but now that it's paralyzed, at least I can know I can bring something in and take it out, and it's not going to be a big drama. At this point, he does switch back into Klefki. I believe I went for the Ice Punch at that stage to try to hit that Latias, but obviously get paralyzed. He sets a Light Screen, which is a really good play on his part because it sort of blocks pretty much everyone on my team as a special attacker, so it sort of, except for Mew, so it sort of blocks that completely, so that could have been a bit of a trouble. But Earthquake's not enough to take it out. I'm really hoping I don't get paralyzed by the next Earthquake that I went for, but he does switch into his Gastrodon basically to sack it off. This was a little bit worrying at this point because he could sort of bring anything in and start sort of setting up, so I had to be a little bit careful about what I wanted to do. He does end up actually bringing his Metagardevoir. I was sort of happy for Mew to go down at this stage, so I just kind of needed to go straight for an attacking move and not sort of mess around. and just sort of see what he does. I know that a Hyper Voice I might survive one, but not well. So yeah, I just stayed in. He ended up going for the Calm Mind, which is really scary because if Mew does go down, I don't really have any special attackers, and the only sort of like defensively is like Sacred Sword, and that's not going to do too much. But Earthquake does like a decent chunk. He goes for the Hyper Voice, as I said, it's not going to live it very well. I'm surprised I lived it at all. It was really a roll if I lived it, I believed. And then I went for the Earthquake. So I'm sort of happy at this point because he has down to lower HP. I can sort of come in and just take him out with anything. So yeah, Mew goes down, that's fine. And it was this point I really wanted to bring in Shaman to try to get a kill, because Shaman is come to, this is the third battle, and this is the first kill he's going to get, which is this Gardevoir. I was pretty happy about this, because I actually thought it was going to be like my MVP, totally ripping it up, but I haven't really even used it just yet, at this point. He does go into the Latias. There was no point messing around. I may as well just go straight in the Tornadus, because Tornadus does a decent chunk to try to like wall this thing. So Ice Beam does come through. It's not going to do too much damage, and I can easily just go for the knockoff, I believe, at this point. So yeah, I'm sitting pretty. I sort of knew that my Tornadus was going to be a real problem for him, so I was sort of like, I was happy because yeah, it was sort of the only thing that I really had to stop him. I did get swept by Greninja last season, so I really did not want that to happen again. So I went to a lot of effort to try to make sure that I had something to answer to it. I go for the U-turn. I'm not going to be able to do anything, and I just got to switch him out and get something else in. My Mega Diancie is still sitting in the back, and I basically built that Mega Diancie for a late game sweep, but so far I haven't even really needed to use it. So I was sort of confident at this stage that I can sort of take out this battle and, you know, be okay. I think he was probably going to switch out here and go into, well, I didn't actually think this, but he ended up going into his Clefairy, obviously, to sack it off to get something else in. Rotom is putting in some work. This is the first time I've used an Assault Vest as well, so I was just really surprised about, you know, it did do well. Normally I run speed on him, so yeah, it's got no speed investment at all, so it worked well for me. But yeah, Tornadus can come back in with a regenerator, and it can pretty much just take this hit and not really be a problem whatsoever. He only had a couple of mons, I think 3 mons left at this stage, so I was sort of I was pretty quietly confident. Like I was on, like when I played this battle, I was seriously on point. Like I played really, really well. Like not to like diss my opponent or anything, but I was seriously on point. I just didn't know what was coming up. Air Slash easily to go for, pretty obvious move. It does a decent chunk. Close combat's not going to be enough to be able to take me out, so I'm happy to take one of them. And yeah, he's just got to take another Air Slash at this point. He does switch out here, and he goes into Latias. Yeah, it takes the Air Slash. Sorry, yeah, it takes the Air Slash. I do end up getting a critical hit there, which is a little bit annoying, and just decided to do the U-turn out, which sort of gives him like a little bit of like momentum in a way, because I've got to switch into Keldeo and he can sort of make up his mind to do what to do at this stage. Keldeo is going to be fine in this instant because he's only got 2 Pokemon left. Even a Greninja, depending on his moveset, can't really touch this Keldeo that much. So he just goes for the U-turn. He's probably just trying to work out if I was scarfed or not, and then ends up going into the Hypnon top, which will end up going down to this Secret Sword, I believe I went for. Yeah, so the Secret Sword, obviously next for the next Greninja, will end up taking it out, and I'm able to live a Hydro Pump. I think it only does about like 30% to me, so I end up taking this victory as actually a 5-0. Yeah, I was pretty happy with it because like it sort of puts me in a better position now, because normally I only win like 1 or like 2 or just like bare wins. So with like a 5 under my belt, it like pushes me up in the differential. So I was sort of happy about that. And you know what? I put so much effort into this team to make sure that I didn't lose. It really comes down to a lot in these lead battles, how much prep you put in and how much work you go to before the battle. And I felt like I did a really good job of this one, and I was really prepared, but I was really scared of his team as well. He didn't actually bring a lot of the things that I was expecting him to bring, which I was a bit surprised about. But yeah, like I was really happy that I took out this victory. But yeah, that's pretty much all from me. Thanks him, like, yeah, it's been great. I'm really enjoying being back in the PGL and getting back into battling. It's been great. But yeah, that's all from me, guys, and I'll catch you guys next time.